four, three, two, one, go!
Yo, good evening, good people. Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. And you got the super team of sports talk here with y'all. And I'm one half of it, Diego Barista Coffee, Black Dominican Russian. You're checking in with my main man, my partner in crime, the 6 foot under post up champ. Tell them who you are.
What's good, good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, the other A and AA Sports, broadcasting live here on a Thursday this week. Your boys was being grown. They went out on a school night, and now we sitting here on low energy on Thursday. What's good with you?
It's crazy. that recoup time, man. If you have anything more than like 2 drinks, that recoup time is going to be a little different.
The crazy thing was, it's like we drank a lot, but I was good when I left. Because it wasn't like he put a whole lot in them drinks. It's just the being out thing.
Yeah, we tried to suck down as many as we could in that couple hour times.
When you at the when you there at 6 o'clock and the lottery ain't till 8:30, what else you got to do? You know what I mean?
Right. People, we went to the NBA Hawks had an NBA draft party for the lottery the other night, Tuesday. So we went down there, check it out. Hell, it was free. So we went
Good
down
look.
there. We had a nice little time. It was cool. But yeah, so that's what it is. We'll actually touch on the NBA lottery and some draft talk here later on, actually. But good people, we ain't forgot about y'all. We rambling, going and doing what we do. But we appreciate y'all as always tuning in. Whether you're watching on the YouTube channel, leaving some comments and subscribing there, or whether you listen to us on the Apple, iTunes, or Spreaker podcast platform. We appreciate all the support. Remember to keep sharing that those episodes and that content on your timelines. We'll definitely reciprocate the love.
Yes, sir.
Hey, in addition to the lottery, what else we gonna talk about tonight?
Tonight we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs, of course. We missing Wednesday allowed us to see Game 1 of both of the Western and Eastern Conference Final Series. We got some stuff to talk about. Toronto, I think y'all in trouble. We got that to talk about. A little bit of football, not a lot. I'm feeling the type of way about this power ranking I saw and what they said about my team and what they said about my co-host team. We're going to talk about that. Not a lot of football right now. It's that dead period right between them June 1st cuts, and camp will be here before you know it. So it's primarily basketball.
Yeah, so I think it's
primarily basketball.
Mini camp time. So
yeah.
We starting to roll that ball a little bit. All right.
It's 100 days to college football from what I saw today. So, we in the South, so, that's huge.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, that's very big in the South and in Texas. You consider Texas the South?
I don't know if I do. I know Pimp C used to argue about that, saying Texas was in the South, but that's kind of like Midwest to me.
I think it's more what part of Texas, like Houston, that southern part of Texas.
Yeah.
I think I may consider a little bit more southern than anything else.
Yeah.
Just because they vibe down there. Hell, they music, like
yeah.
All the other artists come out of Houston, they got more of a southern feel to it.
Yeah.
Now you start getting over like San Antonio.
That's not the South.
Nah, that ain't the South.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Dallas, I wouldn't consider the South, but Houston, yeah, absolutely. Feels a bit more southern. Dallas seems like a bigger city,
And it probably is. I know it's more spread out than I think more spread out than Houston is. But anyway, people, we going to start the show off like we always do. Y'all know what time it is, baby. It's time for something like the news, part of the open bar segment. It's part of the show where we share retarded ass stories that we have seen across the internet. We both got homework tonight, as always. Uncle Hank, do us the honors. Start us off, baby. What you got?
All right, here we go. The first story is in regards to a gentleman named Oswald Perrieri. He was 44 years old. He's a horse jockey, which means he has to be a little bitty fella. Well, Oswald set his house on fire and tried to kill his wife. Why don't dudes just leave nowadays?
It's, I guess maybe they think it's, I don't know.
You know,
If you leave.
nah, just leave. You gonna set the girl on fire? I mean, unless I ain't gonna say that. I mean, if you got an insurance policy, I mean, I guess he's trying to get the bag, but you tend to get caught. You know, spoiler alert, people. When a married woman turns up dead, the first suspect is her husband. First suspect.
Any spouse, yeah.
Yeah, so they caught his little ass already, and they got him in jail right now behind this mess. All right, this story is kind of interesting here because this is karma in a funny way. A lady was at a pizza place in New York, and she got into not necessarily a dispute, but she disagreed with what one of the waiters had to say. She pulled a do the right thing, like why ain't a lot of women on the wall? And the waiter was like, well, maybe women don't like to eat pizza. So they shot him no tip. No tip. Well, here's the kick. This lady had just sold her apartment in New York. She's about to go put down on another place. She left a $424,000 cashier's check at the table.
Oh, no.
You ain't tip him, cuz.
Oh, no.
He was a nice guy, though. He was a nice guy. Nicer than a lot of people. You couldn't even shoot the 15. 15% ain't bad, people. On a pizza tab, that wouldn't have been bad. But to shoot him nothing? Well, this was a nice guy. His name was Armando Marcage. He was 27, working his way through medical school. Turned the check in, and the lady ended up getting the bag because she called the bank, was like, hey, I need y'all to put a stop on this. They was like, nah, that's a cashier's check, which means it's cash. We gonna have to wait like a couple months to kind of put a stop on that to see what happens. Well, it worked out that she got her money, and homie didn't even take a tip. She'd had to shoot me something, dog. 10% seemed about right to me.
You know, something. She ain't shoot him nothing still?
I mean, he turned it down. He's trying to be a nice guy. No.
And you say he going through medical school, right?
Right. What does he not understand what them student loans gonna be when he get free of that?
Because I would have had to. Maybe not. I can understand not wanting to mess up his medical career because he would have tried to cash that check. Of course,
yeah. I'm glad he didn't do that.
But you know, yeah,
right is right.
Especially if she offered. Now, if she ain't, you know, if I'm like, nah, you know, I ain't gonna put it out there, maybe. But if you offer it,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, cool. I might play it a little coy, like, oh, you don't have to, but you know, I'll take.
There has to be a reward to being a good Samaritan, because a lot of people wouldn't have did that at all.
Yeah, you know, I just think it's that's the least you could do.
Yeah.
If you that careless and you misplace any kind of money, lose your wallet or whatever, and if you got cash in and the person don't take it, I think you should break them off a little something.
Cash should be that's a given. I mean, I found your wallet, there wasn't nothing in there. Your cards, that's on you. But the cash, I mean, come on, who's handing cash back?
Some of these dumbass people do that too.
There you go. All right, my next story. I got a question in regards to in our youth when we was really running hard. 2019, there was a survey in regards to a global drug survey. It said that people in the United Kingdom, they get drunk more than any other place in the world. They said they would get drunk 52 times a year. Now, during our time, that seemed kind of low, or is it kind of high?
I'm about to say that's it.
When we were running real hard, 52 times, it's 365 days in a year. That don't seem like a lot, but now that we old, 52 times seems like a lot to be drunk in a year.
Hey man, I can break it down for you real quick.
Go ahead.
It's 52 weeks in a year. That means it's 52 weekends in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's 52. That's equal. That's even right there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then once you throw in a night or two out of the week, yeah, 52 is a little low.
It's funny because they had it. They propped it up like, the United Kingdom, they're at 51 times. America was right behind them at 50.
Is that for the average adult?
Yeah, and they polled a good number of people, 123,000 people. Normally these polls be like 25 people, some shit like that, and it'd be swayed the way they want it to be. But I don't know. I guess now that I'm older, I'm looking at it like, damn, 52. But you're right. That's getting drunk one weekend a month. a year. So that ain't too bad.
I mean,
Ain't too bad.
for like for college kids, I'm like, nah. I mean,
That's
that's
not a lot.
probably about right from my age now. Yeah, because I ain't doing it like we used to do it.
But yeah, we used to drink Sunday through Saturday back in the day.
Like 18 to
29.
23. Oh wow. Yeah, people guess you making it out. You're some alcoholics back in the day.
Yeah, we had fun back then, but we're responsible now. Hey, and another thing about it on this survey, they said they also looked into cocaine use. They said that 30.4% of the people they polled use cocaine, and they said that the delivery time is 30 minutes or less.
That's impressive.
Ain't that's like faster than pizza?
That's impressive because sometimes doing weed, you better hit the weed man up. Like if you got something going on that evening, you might want to hit his ass up that morning because sometimes they not they don't always answer you back.
He's stupid, boy. All right, next up, this is a quick one. Lamar Odom has a book coming out, and he said that he's a sex addict and had sex with over 2,000 women. I'm not surprised at that number because the way they was moving in L.A., him, Quentin Richardson, and all of them, and he lived in Miami too. And he was a star.
That and he's also how many of those two? He said 2,000.
2,000. He said over 2,000.
How many of those 2,000 are crackheads too?
That's true.
They'd be fucking.
He said there were too many strippers to count. It wasn't a big deal. Often I would pay them. I never thought less of them. Yeah. And he said he ran out of porn to watch. He said that's when I knew I had a problem. Yeah, Lamar was moving and getting it how he lived. Now, this next story I got, this one's crazy. And I'm surprised this has not hit national media. Did you hear about the Colts coach whose house got shot up on Mother's Day?
I think I did kind of hear about that.
Okay, where's this fella's name? His last name is Frazier. Dudes pulled up to his house on Mother's Day on a Sunday. 8 people. And they let go 70 rounds in his house. 70. And nobody got killed, of course. But I'm surprised this ain't national news. I didn't hear about this until I went looking for stories today. An NFL coach?
Right.
What did he do that they came with the kill squad to murder everybody in the house?
Yeah, or who that live in that house involved in what exactly?
Right.
You know, it could be it could be a family member that may not necessarily live there, but whoever they didn't got into it with, or whoever they owe money to or drugs to, because that's those only 2 things I know of.
Right.
People's gonna do some shit like that. They knew that they had a high-profile family member. They knew where they lived at. They probably
gambling debt,
that kind of shit as well. So you know who knows? Who knows?
Do people not obey the Sunday truce anymore? I mean, they wanted his ass dead on Mother's Day. Mama, I'm gonna be right back. I got something I need to go do.
Right. Who knows how long they probably was sitting on him as soon as he left church.
Does he keep his job? What if they find out some foolishness behind it? I mean, they got to investigate this, right? The Colts do.
You said the Colts, right?
We talking about Big Jim.
Thank you. He had pills and what about 20 racks on him when the police pulled him over on that. Yeah.
All right, my last 2 stories.
You'll be all right.
It's a father in Philadelphia who's the people are looking for you. His name wasn't released, but your 5-year-old son went to school, a Catholic school, with 22 purple zip bags full of crack cocaine.
Where did he get it from?
Right. Yeah, you don't keep the work in the house with the kids. It seems like y'all just disobeying all the rules and stuff. And these kids see what y'all doing. They taking guns, they taking drugs, and now they looking for you. Now we do know that the young man is 27 years old, but the little boy had a bulge in his pants at school, and they started pulling baggies out. He had to work on them. So,
wow, man, yeah, they're oh my god, people they're codes to this shit, and these y'all people don't follow them.
Nah, they're not following that at all. My last one.
You gotta follow the code, man.
My last one. This is you talk about it. A 12-year-old New Mexico girl. She waited till her grandfather went to sleep. She goes and steals his car. 12 years old. Goes and picks up the homies. And some kind of way they get their hands on a bottle of Smirnoff and a bottle of hard iced tea. They getting it how they live in the car at 12 years old. And
Wow.
the police get to chasing them. She puts her foot on the gas. They in high pursuit of a 12-year-old with her 4 homegirls in the car. They finally get her. They finally stop her. And they like, get out the car. And to their dismay, it's little girls. Little girls in the car. And needless to say, the officers, they ain't do nothing to him, of course. But the father, he said, we don't keep liquor in the car, in the house. And if y'all got to keep her overnight, do what y'all got to do.
Wow.
Right.
Hey, love.
Yeah.
Love.
12 years old, though? I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. Hey, man. They probably tired of her little ass.
Yeah. That's all I got.
All right, that's what's up. I got a few. Some of them are, a couple of them are carryover from last week. I forgot to tell them, but they were just too good to pass up. The first one, remember last week? No, maybe not last week or the week before. One of them. You had the story about that cat that got caught. He was hiding in his old ex-girlfriend attic, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna one up you on that one, or try to at least. This cat. Matter of fact, we going international with this one. This one come from Mexico City.
It's some wild shit in Mexico too. Wild shit.
That's Wild Wild West for real. This dude, they didn't. They actually didn't give his name, but it's in Mexico City. 50 years old now. He broke up with his chick. This fool almost killed himself because he was trying to dig a tunnel under her house to spy on her. She said she first thought it was just cats. She heard some scratching noise. She thought it was cats, but she said as it got louder and louder, she just decided to investigate, and she found his dumb ass. He had gotten stuck in a hole or some kind of way, and he almost suffocated himself, buried himself alive, damn near. So when they finally pulled his ass out, when the paramedics and everybody came, finally pulled his ass out, he was extremely drunk and dehydrated. So they took him in for some tests and some treatment. No word on how much time he probably gonna do.
Do they be thinking the chick gonna come back with shit like that?
I don't think that's ever gonna work.
No.
I don't think that's ever gonna work. Speaking of chicks not coming back, remember last week I had the story of the L.A. Sparks, Rakina Bebe Williams.
Yeah.
The girlfriend pulled a gun out on one of the dudes trying to break up the fight. Told her she let out all 18 on him.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it is not affecting her status as the Los Angeles Sparks re-signed her yesterday.
Wow.
To a new contract.
Wow.
So, hey, shout out to Baby, I guess.
Hey, shout out to her.
Got her bread.
How you pull a gun on somebody and get a new bag like 2 weeks later?
Yeah. Go figure. Now if your car you lost your car, right? Or you got stolen.
Okay.
Car got stolen. In order to help the police, or what he thought would help the police, or push the police, rather motivate them to find his ride, it's a Mercedes-Benz S430.
Okay.
Got stolen somewhere in Oakland. He told the police that they stole the car and his kid was inside. So they put out an Amber Alert, yada, yada, yada. They find the car, no daughter. He was like, well, yeah, I just said that because I knew if it was a kid in there, y'all would do it quicker. Otherwise, y'all wasn't going to really try to find my car.
That's a charge.
So they are charging him with filing a false police report.
People, y'all going to learn to stop filing these false reports. This shit does not work out well. It don't.
This is the funny part. Now, you heard me say it was a Benz, right?
Yeah.
It was a 2005.
So it wasn't even like a new Benz. What year is this? 19? That's a 14-year-old Benz. I mean, how many miles you probably think on that Benz?
That Benz and probably didn't touch so many hands.
Right.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's 175, 200.
Easily.
Maybe about About 150, 175, probably somewhere in there, depending on how much it was driven.
Yeah, that's some
Yeah,
dumb
man.
shit though. That's dumb.
Let them add that car, dog, and get you a new one, upgrade. I mean,
And you know what? You just answered the question I had because I was sitting there thinking if it's a Benz, a newer one, it probably got all kind of shit to tell you where that car is. But a '05 might have not had all that stuff. So
Mercedes, probably had. Yeah, it has a problem. Pretty sure it had something on it, but like I said, who knows how many times that car, how many owners in that car done had.
yeah,
Maybe them
that's
people.
tough.
But yeah, tough luck, buddy. You gotta eat that charge, pay them fines.
Mm-hmm.
The last one I had, this cat, what's this dude name? This was out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Katerick Lavelle Tucker,
Uh-oh.
28, Knoxville, Tennessee, charged with 3 counts of aggravated domestic assault, 2 counts of domestic assault, and abuse, negligence, and endangerment of a child 8 years or under. Bail amount set at $115 because he got into it with his baby mama. Matter of fact, the child is 3 weeks old now. He goes to get the kid. They arguing. He gives the kid to his 7-year-old. Him and the girl get to scrapping. He's pulling her hair. He kicking her. He then notices that there's a smoker with some meat on it. Why
Uh-oh.
he tried to throw old girl on the smoker while it was on and cooking?
Hey, what was that bail amount you just said? You said $115.
$115,000.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say if you tried to murder that girl and they only charged 115, he out like in an hour.
Yeah, he said he wanted to see her burn.
Try to throw on the grill. You hate that girl that bad?
Try to throw on the grill, cuz.
I said, damn shit.
Hey man, y'all wilding out here. Y'all are wilding, man.
Hey, cuz this about to be summertime. She knows it's about to be worse.
We might have to do a 20 or 30-minute show throughout the week aside from the sports show. Just to do something like the news during the summertime.
I just want to know why people are nuts, dog. Nuts.
Man, it's hard. Man, it's hard out here, man. It's hard out here.
I had a story. I ain't even talk about it with some folks got killed with crossbows. A crossbow?
What, in the Hunger Games?
Right. It's just too much, man. It's ill shit. All right, you ready to go to work?
Yeah, man. Let's get into it. All right, people. Let's NBA playoff talk off. Is that what we're starting at tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna start there.
That's first on there.
Since we came on last week, spoiler alert: Denver lost Game 7, and Philadelphia lost Game 7. So Golden State and Portland are currently playing in the Western Conference Finals. That sounds crazy to say. I had no idea Portland was going to make the Western Conference Finals.
When I saw the draw, when the draw was done, you know, when I say the draw, when the seeds finally got settled and they kind of moved around on that last day, I think Houston lost a game they should have won and ended up
Oklahoma, they dropped to 4.
I said, damn. I said, Portland's got a pretty good path because you figured they'd beat well, no, they had a good they had OKC the first round. But once they passed OKC, you would think it was kind of free because Houston and Golden State was set to meet
on the other side.
So they took advantage. The Blazers took advantage. So now they're here on this stage. But the question is, are they gonna be able to pinch these motherfuckers?
Man, before we get into that, I want to give Portland a shout out for staying the course. You realize they got swept the last 2 years in the playoffs, and they're in the Western Conference Finals. A lot of teams would have went drastic. Because I think we talked about it. We was like, one of them got to go. CJ or Dame. Most likely CJ, because you ain't trading Dame. But for them to stay the course, you know, make a few additions here and there and end up in the Western Conference Finals. A lot of teams don't do that in this microwave society. But game 1, they ain't show up.
They didn't. And I think the series is going 5 at the most. But I wonder. I agree with what you said. They stepped up this year, but I wonder how much of their advancement in the playoffs is, like we were just talking about, luck of the draw.
Yeah.
If they have to meet Golden State or Houston, second round versus Denver and OKC's whack ass getting put out in the first round. if they had to play Houston or Golden State second round versus Denver, would they still have advanced? And if not, are we still asking the same questions about them? Or would the first round series have been good enough this year since they hadn't got past that in the way that Dame kind of started and ended that series against OKC? You think that was probably enough to keep the critics off of his ass for this year? I think it probably is. So I think they're playing with house money at this point.
Dame kind of escapes that to me. Being up there in Portland, they don't really put a lot of pressure on them. They was kind of on his ass last year getting swept. But I'm trying, what was their seed last year? Because New Orleans was
last year.
I'm sorry, what was New Orleans when they beat them? 7 or so?
I think
Nah, they had to be 6. Portland was 3. They had to be 6 because Houston was 1. Golden State was 2. So Portland had to be 3. So, I mean, they kind of seem to avoid that, but that brand of ball they play, it just don't seem sustainable where, okay, 2 dudes are going to dominate. They got a ball. Both of them have the ball for you to win. You don't really have much. Well, of course, Nurkic got hurt, so you don't really have a lot of post presence. Rodney Hood has showed up, but it's amazing what happens when you play defense. They're throwing bodies at Dame and CJ. So I don't see a long series with them. I said 6, I believe, to start off because I was going to show some respect, but right. Golden State's on a whole nother level right now. I think Steph's on that y'all must have forgot tour.
Yeah, he finally snapped out of that little slump he had. Everybody was making a big deal about it. But they gonna be fine. They're gonna beat this team in 5 games max to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you on Portland's brand of ball. To me, is more. All right, Dame, it's your turn, cook. All right, CJ, it's your turn, cook.
That's it.
The rest of y'all board, play defense, and we might throw y'all a lob, get y'all a dish off here and there. Be ready. Come
I have a side question I meant to ask you the other day. Where was this George Hill and Rodney Hood last year when Bron needed them?
And yeah, I mean George Hill played all right, I guess, but Rodney Hood definitely didn't play anything like this. Maybe he feel a little bit more comfortable there. Everybody can't play with LeBron. I think we've seen that. Some cats just play better once they leave him.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he does constrict a lot of people's games. You look at Shump. I'll just use him and JR. When they was with the Knicks, they was both handling, not dominating the ball, but taking one-on-one opportunities, creating their own shots, driving to the hole.
Yeah.
Cleveland, they were just depending on shooting threes and playing defense pretty much.
Everybody's a 3-and-D with Bron. Everybody. Except for the ball handler. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so pretty much. But
all right, Golden State.
They have enough. I don't think Portland's got enough. I just don't think Mo Harkless, Aminu, and Cantor, they good players, but they not consistent enough scoring wise to me to be able to help CJ and Dame put up enough points to beat these boys. I only think they scored 100 points game 1. And if you don't score 100 points against Golden State, you are not going to win.
And we talked about this because I think we got home. That was Tuesday night, that game, right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
They legit had Steph on Harkless, and Harkless wasn't punishing him.
Exactly.
Ain't he like 6'9", 6'10"? Man, Mouse in the house. Give me the ball every time if I got this little dude on me. He's going to reach. Steph likes to foul people. FYI. He's going to reach.
Yeah.
They should have been punishing him in that game.
Yeah. I agree with you, dude. Now, going to tonight's game, they should be tipping off any second now. Does Portland get a game tonight and get they split and then go back to, that raucous environment? Is it the Rose Garden they call it?
Yeah, it's Rose Garden. I don't think so.
I mean, I just Dame got to get one for Oakland, right?
I mean, he got to, but I just don't. I like what they're doing right now. They got that that mentality, we're gonna put our foot on their neck. Don't it feel like the switch got flipped when KD went out?
Oh yeah, I mean they're a veteran championship team. They realize, hey, he out. Well, that just lets everybody else elevate our game, and they, I think, to some degree, maybe felt a little bit of relief.
Right.
Uh,
The
you
ball
know,
moves now.
the
It
ball
ain't a
moved.
lot of ISO ball that KD likes to do.
Right.
You know.
They got back to their roots. It's like riding a bike, man. You never forget how to do it once you do it like them boys are doing it.
Ain't it funny how, we're talking about all these other super teams and, we're talking about if KD leaves. If KD leaves, they still got two dudes that can put up 25 a game. And that's normally what you need. One of them can give you 30. Really, both of them can give you 30 on a nightly basis. You still got a talented forward. If KD walks out of that team tonight, they're going to have his cap hold available to make other moves. Golden State going to be all right, people. I think that whole story that people are just saying, he's gone, they need him. They're going to be just fine. People want to go play with them. They share the ball.
I was just about to say now, I think they'll be fine if he leaves, but about they need him part of it, that's a little subjective because in order to continue to be a dominant team,
Oh, absolutely.
that puts
I'm with you on that.
they need him.
I'll
Otherwise,
put it this way.
hey, the way these teams in the East are forming out and it's looking real solid and even across the board, same thing should start happening with these West teams, especially because Denver is going to be a problem.
Yes, sir.
For several years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they'll still be a good team, but it won't be a foregone conclusion like it is if you got KD.
Put it this way. I think Milwaukee can beat Golden State as constructed right now, as long as Kevin Durant's out. If Kevin Durant's on that court with them, I think they'll beat Milwaukee.
That changes a little thing. Yeah,
it'll change shit. So, we'll see the way that flies. But
Portland got a chance tonight. I mean, if they come out and Dame and CJ got 30, and Clay and or Steph happen to be off tonight, then you got a shot.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing what happens with that. But since KD went out, Steph's averaging 31, 6, and 6, right back to what he was MVP time. But me, myself, I would like winning titles. I would stay and work that shit out if I'm them. I'd be chasing Jordan trying to get 6.
You getting so you're getting the best of both worlds, really, because you're winning championships and you're making the most money.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, I forget which show I was watching, they brought up a decent argument, I guess, about does KD have to leave there and go somewhere else and actually be his own team and win titles to actually get all of the respect he thinks he deserves or that he wants.
Did we talk about it last week? I can't remember. We were talking about, shout out to the homie Danny. Did we talk about when we saw her at Top Golf and what she was saying? Because she's from Oakland. Mm-hmm. And how she was like, he ain't one of ours. He's a traitor. Yeah. Well, not a traitor. Did she say traitor?
It was something along those lines. But yeah, he's not. He ain't homegrown, or like you say, he's not ours. He a transplant. So maybe
right. And it's fascinating because we heard that all in the media and all out there, but then to hear somebody we know legit say it, I'm like, damn, okay, they really feel that way. Yeah. So maybe that's a legit reason to leave if you don't win back-to-back titles, back-to-back finals MVPs, and they still like, well, you ain't an original. I guess that's like Johnny Gill. It's like Johnny Gill's in New Edition, but he ain't Bobby.
I think with Warrior fans, if they honest with themselves, they need to kind of look back on things before Kevin Durant got there. Because the fact that they won without Kevin Durant obviously is why they got the feelings or the perspective that they have. But
that's an asterisk.
If you look at your, I ain't gonna put the asterisk by it.
Only reason why I say it's an asterisk because Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. Bron took them 6 with no help.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you look at the first title, that's what I was gonna say. Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. The second, then Bron them won. The second title, you had to go call KD. So
KD.
You lose to Bron them, and then you say, "Hey, these motherfuckers is coming. We need another player." So keep that in this proper perspective. You won one.
Right.
without him.
Right.
And that one, like you say, you want to put an asterisk or say it was suspect, or say, hey, they had 2 All-Stars out. Hey,
And I'm not disrespecting this, so I guess an asterisk is wrong, but I mean, homie took them 6, dog. With who was the second best player? What's that boy name? The little fella? Delhi? Delhi
oh,
was the second best player on that team. He took them 6.
because he got Delhi paid.
Right. So, and the next year he hawked y'all down 3-1, and Draymond goes in the car and calls a 7-foot unicorn. So, it was fascinating to me to see that people from Oakland actually feel that way. I take a lot of that national media stuff and be like, they probably lying. They gotta feel this cat. But nah, they kind of feel that way. So.
That's why I like the local beat writers. I try to start following and listening, seeing what they got to say. A lot of times, they got a better pulse on the city.
Right.
National media, they there for storylines and narratives. But
shout out to you, Danny.
But I think KD feels that energy too.
Yeah.
So that's why I think
it'll never be his team. That's Steph's team.
Yeah,
I think never be his team.
He knows that, and so that's why the talk about New York just really seems so concrete, because he can accomplish everything there. He's got the possibility to get out of the Western Conference and go to the East. Okay, even though the East may be shaping up to be just as tough.
Well, we see what happens with Boston and Philly. It might be a little easier.
Well, that's true. And if Kawhi leaves Toronto, then
it's gonna be real easy then. So,
that franchise is looking for a savior, so to speak. If he can go to New York and win, he'll be looked at in a great light, because New York, y'all ain't won in what,
74, somewhere around there. That title would be on the same level. Would that title be bigger than the Cleveland title that Bron got?
No, because Cleveland had never won.
They never won. That's on. Yeah, it's big though, but it's not on that Cleveland level big though.
It's gonna be. It would be huge. It would definitely be huge. But
I ain't even think about that till you just said that though. Damn, if Kawhi leaves too, if Kawhi leaves, Jimmy leaves, and Kyrie leaves, the East takes a step back.
Well, where they going though? That's the question. If they leave, where they going?
Well, we figured Kyrie, if he goes, it'll be New York. Jimmy, I don't know, but and Kawhi going to Clippers. That knocks 3 of them powers back. That would make me want to go to the East in that case. I'm going to the finals every year.
Yeah, but I mean, other than Milwaukee, Boston.
Well, yeah, I'm playing them in the Eastern Conference Finals at least, but who else would be a power? Well, that's.
I think Boston will get better once Kyrie leaves.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right.
Young Hawks is coming, baby. Them Hawks is coming.
Yes, sir. All right. Next up, Milwaukee and Toronto. Milwaukee, they've been sitting for about a week and a half now, if I'm not mistaken.
Marinating.
They've been cooling. Toronto got it done on one of the best series-ending shots I've ever seen. That ball wasn't supposed to fall, cuz. It wasn't supposed to.
How many times did it hit the rim? Like 4, 5?
4 times. Should Ben had not stopped on that play and followed Kawhi?
Okay, so yes, I think he should have, but I also understand why he stopped. I don't think that's where his error was, though. I think his error was at the start of the play, the inbound, because he put himself in a position where he let Kawhi spin out.
Yeah, he did.
Away versus pushing him to the left side where the defense was to his left hand.
Gotcha.
So he was in a trail position from the jump. He was in a trail position the whole way. I also think Embiid may have been – he jumped too quick on the double jump, but I wonder if he was supposed to also be – maybe this is why Ben played him that way that he played him. If Embiid was supposed to be on the other side to cut him off and do that double, and he didn't get to his spot fast enough, and that also allowed Kawhi to turn that corner. Because once he turned the corner, you got Embiid big ass kind of with the angle, and Ben is already trailing. I can see why Ben stopped, But it was a crazy shot, man. It took 4 bounces over a 7, and he barely got it over a 7-footer, and he had to get it off because Embiid jumped the double jump. He jumped a little too early the first time. So I mean, you take all that consideration. I don't fault being too much.
No,
You know, somebody went on a shot like that, you just got to tip your hat to him.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, That's a lot of love though, having a whole country, but it's still cold as hell up there, and I still think he's leaving. But on to this series, they controlled most of this game. This feels like 2 losses to me instead of 1.
You're talking about game 1 of Milwaukee and the Raptors?
Yes, it feels like 2 losses instead of 1. Reason being, they led most of this game, like most of it. Going into the fourth quarter, they were leading. Milwaukee couldn't get over the hump. And if you can't win this game, when Kyle Lowry balls the way he did, you're not going to see that game again. I don't see it.
You can't waste 29 or 30 points from Kyle Lowry. I think he had 30.
Yeah, I forgot to put him on there.
No,
that's a shame.
He's usually not even in your thought process to put.
Right.
I think he had 30 though. I think he
had 30, and he shot a high percentage.
But he was cooking. But you can't waste 30 points from him. You can't waste Middleton only scoring, I think, 11 points and Bledsoe scoring 9 points. You can't waste that and still take an L. They let Robin Lopez get 29.
29 points from Lopez. 29.
Yeah.
And you got to ask yourself, what's more probable to happen? Lowry scoring like that again, or Brook Lopez doing what he did? What's more probable? I don't think neither one of them are probable like that, but you think about it. Giannis didn't have – he had 24 and 14. Hell, Kawhi did not score a basket in the fourth quarter. Not one basket. They should have stole that game.
Nobody else on the Raptors scored a basket in the fourth quarter.
Nobody.
They were 0 for 15 outside of Kyle Lowry when it comes to field goals, so to speak. Kawhi, for one, was gassed, I think. I think they didn't give him enough rest earlier. I think he should have taken him out with maybe a minute and change, maybe 2 minutes left in the third, and then maybe let him sit for the first 2, maybe 3 minutes of the fourth. He only would have missed 5 or 6 minutes of real game action, but he would have got about 20, 25 minutes of actual real rest. I think coach missed that opportunity.
Not to go back to Sunday again, Kawhi shot the ball, 35 times on Sunday? And them dudes were scared. Every time they got the ball, it was like hot potato. Back to Kawhi. Didn't nobody want to touch the ball. So I believe he was gassed. You was 100 on that. I know that was some days later. But also one thing, too, you're playing real defense. You're playing trees. Them dudes was trying to block everything he did in that lane. So I don't believe it's over per se, but Milwaukee's pretty good, man. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't see this coming. I like the composition of this team and what they're doing. I like it.
Malcolm Brogdon, right back to doing Malcolm Brogdon things. I think he had 13 or 15 points last first game as well. He fresh off an injury, so Milwaukee look real good right now. I picked them in this series. I don't think it's going no more than 6 myself. I like Kawhi. Siakam has kind of been up and down here lately in these playoffs as the games get bigger.
Yeah, he has.
He's shrinking a little bit.
He was hot potato on Sunday too.
Right. He started off hot early. He had a better game first half than he did in that Philly game.
Yeah.
But when it came crunch time late in the game, then he didn't show up. So
they're probably good for one. So let's say the gentleman sweep. They'll probably get one in Toronto because they're gonna be out there turned clean up. What else they got to do?
Yeah, man, Toronto popping, dog.
Oh yeah, I'd love to visit, but I think they're gonna be straight. They're gonna lose this series, and Milwaukee's gonna be okay. I'm just real surprised that going into this season, there is no way in hell neither one of us thought the Milwaukee Bucks would be balling like this. Who saw this?
No, not me. I didn't think this. And I was I was doubting him up until probably the first round. So,
Right.
um,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
That is crazy. All right, let's get into this draft lottery because we need to move this thing on along. Okay. I guess we should call it the Zion sweepstakes. Oh
Um,
shit, man, I jumped. I'm sorry. Let's run through this other stuff. I'm drinking Red Bull and vodka. All right, Houston. This has been the story we have been discussing at least for the last week. Houston. Once again, Coach opened gym and James Harden and CP3 came up lacking. Now, I know I was out of town at the time, but we were talking. I felt like when KD got hurt, I was like, they're gonna win. They won that game, he got hurt. I said, they're gonna win game 6. This ain't going 7. I just felt like they had more heart than Houston. Even on the road, I felt like they had more heart. And they got it done. There is no way you're supposed to lose a game 6 on your home court when Steph Curry don't score one damn point in the first half, but put 33 up on you in the second.
if you let them score 33 in the second half, they did.
There's no way. You're not supposed to win that game.
It was back to the OG Splash Brothers. Clay killed them first half. Steph finished them off in the second half. They ain't have no answer.
Draymond getting triple doubles on them. Now Houston, they said they're confident. The owner said we're gonna win titles with James.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to figure out how. See, because there's this thing called a salary cap.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Now, some people may not understand it, but you have amounts that you can go up to and you can't exceed. Because then you get hit with this thing called the luxury tax. Houston has a lot of money tied up in like 3 dudes.
Like and that 3 dudes is only worth paying if you're winning titles.
That's it. I'm not paying the luxury tax. Like Michael Jordan, case in point. Michael Jordan ain't paying that luxury tax in Charlotte. He's not.
For what?
He's made it clear. We will cut people, send them the other way. I'm not paying no damn luxury tax to lose. You only pay the luxury tax to win.
That's it.
And you got 3 dudes in Houston making real money, but yet they say they're gonna retool, fix it. Now, Daryl Morey, from what I gather, is a pretty smart cat. He's pretty smart. I need to know how he gonna flip this. That's what I need to know. Have you come up with anything? You told me you was gonna try to figure it out by Thursday.
I'm gonna try. I mean, when you have your starting lineup pretty much taking up all of your cap before you got your little threshold pick, there's no way to make it work unless you move somebody. So let's look at the players and who you gonna move. You're not moving James Harden.
Ain't move him.
Yeah, you're not moving him. Chris Paul, 33, 34 years old.
33 and slow.
He's set to make 39, 40, let's just say $40 million next year. And that's only going to escalate up to 44, 45 million over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Who's paying for the contract? Nobody. Okay. Can't move him. Clint Capella got 4 years and $75 million left. He's pretty decent defensively, but on offense, the only thing he can do is roll to the rim and catch a lob.
And he can't hit free throws. So he can't in the game. He's not in the game late. So what's that term? What's that term we like to use? They got what they got.
Got what you got.
That's it. It's not getting no better. And Eric Gordon, he's kind of like, well, he's their 4th star. Eric Gordon's on his last year, $14 million deal expiring.
That's very sexy. That's a very sexy trade piece.
I'm not taking a cut if I'm him. Because I can go get that money somewhere else. He can't be no more than 29, 30 maybe. I think he's 30.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it ain't been that long.
He get his money whether he stay with them when they trade him. The only thing about trading him is they need him.
They need him. You told me the other day, Austin Rivers said he ain't taking no cut.
He's going to take the veterans minimum again this year, which is like $1 million, $1.5 million, I think.
Yeah.
He's not taking that again, so they may not be able to afford him. Iman Shumpert is free.
Fareed's free.
Fareed is free. Gerald Green is free.
Nene retired.
Nene retired. These are all people that were in their rotation. So what's left? And
PJ Tucker and them other dudes. That's it.
Yeah. So I don't know what Houston's going to do. So we're going to see what Morey and crew come up with. See if they can flip a crumb to a brick, because that's what it's going to take.
But this shit was Melo's fault, though.
Yeah.
Right. Oklahoma City too. It was his fault there. Huh.
Hey man, this style, they gonna keep D'Antoni, I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't think they're gonna go drastic, but at some point, can we not just say this shit don't work in the playoffs? At some point,
style is not going. No, you don't.
I mean, he gonna make a guard on that on whatever team he coaches. It's gonna be a guard good enough to win the MVP every year.
Right.
But that's it. And that shit was comical last Friday when they was asking him about defensive rotations, cause he don't pay that no mind. Why you asking him? He don't know. So
trolling.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, Daryl Morey is a smart cat, but in some cases, you got what you got. And we talked about it the other night, and we saw each other. The worst contracts in the league right now are the Supermax.
Yeah,
that's the worst contracts.
Chris Paul's, John Wall's, Russell Westbrook's.
That's the worst contract. You know, and the owners put that shit in there to try to, you know, prohibit player movement. You know, trying to stop Bron and them. But you hurt yourself. Because now you stuck with dudes. You know, you don't pay them all that money. You know that dude from Washington got to be kicking himself in the ass every night. John Wall probably ain't coming back to 2021.
And he's fat. He's in Miami. Rehab.
Right. Ain't even close to the facility. I'm going to be doing my rehab in Miami.
Oh,
man, please.
Miami with Supermax deal. Go ahead.
Right. How does that work? All right, next up. We talked about the process last week, but I got a few questions we can run through real quick.
I don't get
Brett Brown.
Process.
Brett Brown. Should he have been fired?
I would have had to go another direction.
I think so. I mean, what other option you got? He would have had to go another. I mean, you're not getting rid of Embiid. You keeping Ben. You're trying to keep the free agents. I would have brought another voice in. I didn't know he'd been there 7 years, dog.
Yeah, he's been there at the start of this whole process. I think he had some other roles when they was doing the whole tanking and starting the process thing from the jump. He's been there.
So we shouldn't count the suck years, should we? Should we count basically from when Embiid got there?
I would say I think he ate so many losses in the first 2 years just to go along with what they were doing. I think that's what's keeping him there as well, because you know it's like, okay, you family, that kind of thing. I think that's keeping him there. Also, you know, to play devil's advocate, looking at their side, just to look at reasons why they may have kept him. That bench was short. They needed some more help on that bench. How much blame are they putting on him? Apparently not enough, because they're keeping him, but he needs to be taking more responsibility for Ben Simmons' lack of growth, because it damn sure stalled that offense a whole lot in too many games in that second round.
We got Ben next, but all right, next, Jimmy Butler. You think they can convince him to stay?
I do. I think it's highly likely that he stays there. I just think Jimmy fits that city of Philly.
He does fit the city. And you know what it comes down to, essentially. 1201 in July. Do you have $190 million? I think Jimmy will stay if you got it.
Right. So, and I don't think I don't see anybody else that Philly is going after in free agency. They're not going after KD, the Kyrie.
Oh no. They traded too many assets.
Right. So, LA, they are going to be looking in another direction first before they're looking in Jimmy's direction. So if Philly can jump out there first and show their interest first, I think he'll go ahead and sign. Because
absolutely.
I just think he really, really fits there. I think he like it there. I think he should stay.
And I like what Jimmy did this postseason. The positivity he brought. He was a leader. He was the adult in the room on that team. I'm going to ask you a question, and it could be blasphemous. You know I go that way sometimes. Tobias Harris. Am I wrong to think I can get his production from Mike Scott with more minutes?
Diet his production.
I mean, if he's giving you 20, you give Mike Scott starter minutes. I can't get 15 for less money.
I'm feeling you.
It's not like Tobias is an animal on the board.
I think Tobias is a little bit better than Mike Scott, but
Oh yeah,
I definitely get what you're saying because I'm on the fence about Tobias and what exactly do you offer him? He's not a max dude in my book no more.
20s. What you been telling me for all these years? 20s like the new 10.
Hey man, four for 80. Yeah, that's what I got for him. Maybe 4 for 80, 475.
Technically they got what 2, maybe 3 years to play with money because Ben ain't due yet. I think it's 2 years with Ben.
Yeah, I think it's 2 more years. Yeah.
Would you
Or
bring the band back?
I would. I wouldn't just add to the bench. I would tell Tobias Harris. I think he's still pretty young, 26, 27.
3-year deal. Be free at 29.
3-year deal. If you do a 3-year deal, then I can give you a little bit more per year because we still got Ben on rookie contract. But if you want a longer term deal, I'm not going to be able to meet your number because to me, he lacks some things in the playoffs. I wanted to see him do a little more and be there a little more, and I saw some little things that I didn't really care for. His hands are ass to me. He doesn't pay as close attention to detail to some things as I would like.
Yeah.
But again, I'm nitpicky. But
Nah,
I just
you 100 on that.
think he's a max dude. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's max.
And you know the biggest equation with all of this, their whole offseason, everything. Is anybody on this team, Brett Brown, Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Elton Brand, is anybody gonna be able to convince Ben Simmons to shoot the ball outside of the paint?
You know what, man? It's got to be about Ben, man. Ben got to look in the mirror and be like, and tell himself what he need to do. Now I see that he's playing for the Australian national team.
I saw that shit. You think he gonna shoot a 3 on that team?
The first thing I called my head, oh, you playing for the national team. Your jumper better be right. If you come back next year, Ben Simmons, and you not shooting jumpers and you didn't have time to go play for the Australian national team, look, man.
Over under 10 threes in that tournament.
You
can
go
shoot. I ain't saying he got to make them. He going to shoot 10 threes in that tournament.
You can go hoop with Deli and Andrew Bogut anytime. Anytime. You can go hoop with Deli and Andrew Bogut anytime. And Dante Exum. Who else? Man, damn, Australia deep.
There's a whole lot of Australians. I ain't even think about that.
Start naming our names for you realize you got to start in 5.
Hey, answer that for me, though. Over under 10 threes. Did he shoot 10 in that tournament?
In the next 10 years? Oh, in this
tournament? No, I'm talking about in this summer shit. 10 threes? No. They got to be, 8, 9 games doing that? Maybe 10 games.
He's not shooting 10.
That's a damn shame.
I almost pondered it because, the 3-point line, the FIBA 3-point line is shorter than the NBA 3-point line. But it's still around 20, 22 feet, and he don't shoot that. Unless they move in the 3-point line to the dotted line, Ben Simmons is a 3-point shooter.
All right, I agree with you on everything about Philly. Bring the band back. Essentially, you know what you're gonna do in 2 years because Embiid's up in 2 years and Ben's due to be paid in 2 years, so you'll figure it out.
Yeah, they got to let the bench out.
Yeah, they got to get some shooters. All right, next up, let's run through. We got to speed up and rambling. The Lakers hired Frank Vogel. This shit show continues. I think I hit you last week. Like, they are doing everything they can to piss Bron off. Ty Lue got offered a 3-year deal instead of a 5-year deal, and Ty Lue has a title. I want to say we talked about it last week when they were in negotiations. So then they go to Frank Vogel. He coached Indiana. He coached Orlando. And he agreed to 3 years of $5 million a year. And one thing that Frank Vogel did that Ty Lue wouldn't do, he said, sure, I'll take Jason Kidd. He can be on my bench. I ain't taking nobody that's going to take my job to be sitting next to me. I ain't going to do that.
But he really didn't have a choice.
$15 million for 3 years that you're going to get every dollar of it.
Oh, yeah.
To live in Southern California, cool.
Right.
No problem.
And to kind of get his foot back in the door, because it kind of maybe Frank Vogel looking at it like this, because he had I think he's gotten a bad reputation off those Orlando years, which is what we've last seen.
That shouldn't even count.
a lot of people forget about his Indiana years. Now, offensively, he ain't what you're looking for. He is a defensive-minded coach. All of his Indiana teams, I think, within top 8 or maybe 10 of defensive efficiency all his time there. So he feels defense, and the Lakers' biggest problem last year was what? Defense. As far as the Jason Kidd thing, maybe Frank Vogel took the 3-year deal to say, hey, I know if I do my job, I'll be here. And if they move Jason Kidd in here, everybody else in the league will be able to see what it was from the start anyway, and maybe that won't hurt me. Because Jason Kidd is probably going to end up being a more polarizing figure on that bench than he is Vogel. And then we know LeBron is going to dwarf Frank Vogel as well. So he can kind of be a Ty Lue, where you in the right space to take credit for if everything go right.
Yeah.
And if it don't go right, you'll be moved out, but you won't be looked at as bad as it would be if those big figures and personalities weren't there too.
But how many folks get a 4th shot? This will be his 3rd job. A lot of cats don't get 4 jobs in the NBA. I mean, I'm not tripping on it. I mean, that's $15 million. I go be an assistant after I done made this bread.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a win.
Because he only did 2 years in Orlando.
Yeah, about 5 or 6 in Indy.
In Indy, so that was a good run. Like I said, I mean, who was going to win in Orlando? Well, I mean, Orlando made the playoffs this year. But,
yeah, but that was I wouldn't have took that job.
He was there like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. He was there after the Dwight and Van Gundy era had moved on. So nobody was winning on those teams. I'm actually surprised he took him this long to get another job. So, oh no, we'll see.
I mean, the NBA, the coaching thing. I mean, it's a players' league, So, coach, I'm not saying coaching don't count, but we're gonna see.
And he's an average coach. I mean, I see people mad about it.
What other option did they have? I mean, shit, they tried Monty, that didn't work. Tried Ty Lue, that didn't work. I knew they weren't gonna give Juwan that job. I knew that. So.
And I could see Monty turning it down if they handing everybody these same 3-year deal proposals. I can see why Monty turned it down and said, "Oh, nah, I'm good on that." You see why?
Shit, I would have turned around, walked out that damn room when I walked in and saw Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis sitting there with a clipboard. No, I'm good.
That's funny. And apparently, Phil is still helping. Is Phil still helping call some shots from behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, they said that he endorsed Frank Vogel for this job. So, hey, what do we know? So we're gonna see what happens. I kind of had a conspiracy theory of my own. I said that Jason Kidd probably told him, you go ahead and let Frank be there. But Giannis still rocks with me. Giannis will be free around the time Bron gone. I can get him to LA. That's the type of finesse you got to sell when you're trying to backdoor people. And Jason Kidd is known to backdoor people. He's known.
He's a slick motherfucker.
Yes, he is.
That only works if the Bucks continue to fall short for 2 or 3 years straight. They fuck around and win a title this year.
He ain't leaving. They win a title this year. He ain't leaving. If they make the finals, he gonna re-up. They should be able to re-up in like a year, give or take. The super max.
That's gonna be a tough one to get him to LA.
All right, let's move this thing on about. The Cavs hired the old dude from Michigan, John Beeline. That was disrespectful. Wasn't it?
Man, let the Michigan people hear you say that.
He old though, cuz. 66 in the NBA.
He probably got a 5-year deal, didn't he?
Dan Gilbert. 7.
He won't make it 2.
Yeah. Hey, I don't blame you for cashing out, getting that bag. I don't blame you. We ain't got to talk about that. Terry Rozier kept it 1,000 on TV this week.
Yeah, he did.
Basically, people, we're not going to go over the comments. Terry basically said if they don't change this thing up, I ain't coming back. See, now, Terry, the funny thing about it is you're a restricted free agent.
Yeah.
Which basically means that, Danny, even if he's on his, bed rest bed, he ain't got to let you go. Kyrie can leave young Kobe, and you can get an offer sheet from Phoenix or somebody. $100 million. I'm out. I'm going to live in Phoenix. Fuck this snow. Not so fast, my friend. We're going to match that deal, and you're going to stay in Boston. They be talking that stuff when you can't talk that stuff unless you're unrestricted.
But what's gonna be the line draw? Because Danny ain't matching no $100 million for Terry Rozier.
If it's 5 years at 20,
it's gonna take somebody to overpay him for Danny not to match him.
He ain't started Marcus Smart at point, but he done paid him, so he ain't got no choice.
I don't know, cuz.
I think he's gonna be there though. Quite frankly, I really do. Cause Kyrie's out, he's gone. So
okay, so Al Horford deal, I guess, getting ready to end. But if you still got Gordon, he's on pretty much max money. You gonna
but
get
20's a break though. That's not the max.
Well, okay, that's true. That's right. So
that's like a $10 million break right there. Maybe you can keep the Morris kid. You still you kind of good right now because you ain't got to pay Jalen. Tatum's good, so yeah. But he kept it 100. Told him exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I agree with him. He did sacrifice a lot. Hell, that whole team sacrificed a lot because Kyrie, his style is dominate the ball, and I still will say, I'll reiterate and repeat. I think that system, Brad Stevens' system, is much better for players that's going to share the ball, and Kyrie just wouldn't. That's not his game.
Biggest thing that needs to happen with Boston this summer, Gordon Hayward got to get it right.
Yeah, he'll be another year removed from the injury.
Yeah, because they're stuck with him.
Because he shows signs from time to time. He'll have a good couple of games in a row, so he just got to be more consistent. He should look a lot better next year off his first full season back after the injury.
But he got them Thundercats at his heels, though. They want them minutes.
But if trust me, if Kyrie's gone, it's going to open it up for all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into this lottery. People, the draft lottery, all up until really 8:30 Tuesday night. The Knicks are going to get this. Phoenix is going to get that. Chicago are going to get this. Well, none of that shit worked out. None of it. So I'm actually pleased with it. I'm pleased with it because can we say that tanking ended this past week?
I love it. Now the telltale sign is going to be will it continue being this kind of random chaos as the years go on? We'll see. But I love it because if it's going to be like this, then yeah, there is no incentive to tank it.
No incentive at all. You got to play.
You have to.
New Orleans won the lottery, and they had a 5% chance for the number 1 overall pick. 20% for a top 4. People, them getting that ping pong ball to say their name at 1 changed everything because that took the leverage from the Lakers. That took the leverage from the Knicks. Zion Williamson is going to be a New Orleans Pelican. He is going to be that. Shout out to you dumbasses on TV the last couple of days who were like, man, I go back to school. I heard something on TV today was kind of funny. They said Zion can't go back to Duke. They ain't got no salary cap space for him.
Funny. Well, yeah, that's funny as hell.
That's funny as hell, guys.
I liked it. And you see, talk about New Orleans had a 5% chance, and you got some of these other fan bases like New York mad because they didn't get it and try to wonder why. Instead of looking at your 14%, which is I think you, Cleveland, Phoenix had the 14% chance, which was the highest out of everybody. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, if you only got a 14% chance to get something, you're probably not going to get it. And I think that's the way you got to kind of look at it versus looking at why you didn't get it because you had a better chance than the rest of the teams. So for that, I love it. I didn't like too much where the Hawks picks came in at. We had our eyes on 1 and 6.
Wasn't pleased about that.
But 8 and 10. From what I'm seeing so far in the mocks, and of course that'll change. But I think Cam Reddish, Jared Culver, Jackson Hickson, maybe DeAndre Hunter, just depending on how it shake out. Or
I'm
some of the
concerned
names.
about Cam. I keep hearing that Cam's individual workouts could get him to jump from where we are at 8.
Okay. All right.
So,
See?
I mean, I ain't mad about it. I mean, that's kind of one of our questions on there. We can deal with it. Now, I'm not mad at it. I'm okay with slow cooking. I'm okay with it. You know, I said it to you Tuesday when we were at the stadium. We ain't had hope like this as Hawks fans. I can't remember the last time. You know, the Steve Smith, Mookie, and Dikembe teams, they was solid. Wasn't no damn hope. But Michael Jordan was there. You know, the Paul Millsap teams with T. Bron was there. Right now, if things shake the way they do, we got hope. You know, got draft picks. Some dudes turned this franchise around in what, 2.5 years, 3 years?
Give or take. I think we got 2 solid cornerstone pieces of Trae Young and John Collins. So we just continue to build and add to that.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Kick Bazemore's ass. I think we're gonna be just fine, and hopefully here sometime soon, we can continue to grow and do that, and we can start attracting some free agents, to come here.
Giannis is free in 2021.
Okay, that's 2 years from now.
If our cats develop the way we think they are, we'll be all right. Kevin Huerter, I need 15, 18 next year, but it's gonna be all right. I'm not mad about it. A lot of teams don't get 8 and 10 in the first round of a lottery. I'm just glad Dallas didn't get that pick. I would have really felt the way if it would have jumped to the top 5 and Dallas would have got it. I'm good with this.
So I found this out because I know we were trying to figure this out about the piece of it where they kept saying if it's outside the top 5, we get it. If it's inside the top 5, Dallas get it. But if it's not conveyed, then it rolls over to the next year. We were trying to find out what that piece of it meant.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like I think you thinking. If it was came inside the top 5 and Dallas got the pick, then we just ass out.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it worked.
Okay.
If Dallas would have got the top 5 pick, they still got an obligation to us.
Okay.
So next year, it would have shrunk to top 3 protected. So they only would have kept it if it was top 3, and then we get it if it's outside top 3. If they would have got top 3 last year, okay, you keep your pick, cool. You still owe me money, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the next year, the third year, it goes to unprotected. And so that's how that kind of rolls. So we just wouldn't have got the pick this year. So when I heard that, I started thinking, well, shit, should I have rooted for them to get the pick this year?
I kind of wanted to get it out the way.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to get it out the way, but that's real stuff. And it's amazing how many fans don't understand protections on these picks and how that stuff works out. Folks, these are the same folks last year around November, December. Man, Luka's balling. We should have drafted him. Well, now that we're picking with the 10th pick, which was Dallas's pick, and Trae Young did what he did, and that's money in the bank, man.
Yeah.
Money in the bank.
Exactly.
So, all right, what do we got here? So we both like the changes to the lottery. Let's talk about the Pelicans real quick. We know AD is not going to be there. No. We know that. I kind of feel like at this stage, I wasn't feeling it initially because I felt like he was going to end up a Laker now that they got the 4th pick. But the Knicks got the 3rd pick, which basically means they got the rights to RJ Barrett. I think RJ Barrett is going to be traded to New Orleans for Anthony Davis and some players.
I don't.
Okay, tell me what you got.
The Lakers got just 1 pick later with the 4th pick, and they got a Kuzma, a Lonzo, or a Kuzma and a Josh Hart that they can throw in with that 4th pick. The Knicks have the 3rd pick and what? Kevin Knox.
Are you factoring in the petty of the Pelicans though?
No, I'm not, because David Griffin he don't have nothing to do with that. He just got that.
That's Brian homeboy.
You know what I'm saying? And that's Alvin Gentry that would be petty, but he ain't running.
I don't even think it's Gentry. I think it's that woman who owns the team.
No, well, she I mean, she could obviously, use her power if she wanted to, But if she hired David Griffin to do a job, she need to let him do his job, and
Now I'm with you.
take the best package.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. You want the best package for your team. But I guess I'm thinking, would you rather have him out of I mean, I wouldn't give a shit if he's in conference. As long as I got the best package, who cares?
Yeah, I wouldn't care because, I mean, Braun is going to be gone from there in 3 or 4 years.
People focus so much on that shit, but does it? I wouldn't care if you in the same conference. So what? As long as I came up.
Especially if I'm not a contender right now. If I'm not a contender right now, I'm at the bottom, which is
Right.
where they're going to be.
Right.
I need to get my team better, and if I get my team better, then all the contenders should be coming down when I'm coming up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I wouldn't, be worried about that too much. Now, in San Antonio's case last year with Kawhi, I get it because they ain't down scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So I understand why they wouldn't want to send him to the Lakers. I get that. But for the Pelicans,
make the best deal for your team.
Make the best deal.
I kind of feel like at this point you're gonna burn it down. I heard that Drew Holiday wants out too. Drew Holiday has really had a solid career on the low, hiding down there in New Orleans. Somebody's gonna get him. We got to see the way it plays out. Most of this stuff is gonna happen around the draft. Most of it. Memphis has already put word out there. They drafting Ja Morant. If that's the case, then you got to trade Mike Conley. It seems like Mike Conley's been around for a while, but he really hasn't.
Shit, Mike Conley was the point guard with Greg Oden. That's been a minute.
Yeah. Greg Oden's old, but he was like 25 in college. So, but I think Mike Conley can help somebody. I mean, that deal don't look as bad now because there's only 2 more years left on it.
Right.
So he can help somebody. I think he gonna be moved around the draft. Who would you say is the 4th best player in this draft? If you can politic it.
I want to go back to the Pelicans right quick though.
Go ahead.
It's a way for AD to stay there.
Absolutely, they got $221 million for him.
I'm thinking about if Kyrie really want to play with AD.
Bingo.
Boston, let's do a sign and trade. You take Drew Holiday, which I think will work better as a point guard with what Boston got going on in that system. Kyrie, Zion, AD. What's up?
Because they can keep Drew. I saw something today. If Julius Randle gets out, if they stretch Solomon Hill, that's $24 million. They can move a couple more players around to get up to 30. Kyrie done seen real money. You trying to play, even if Kyrie ain't there, Kemba Walker ain't gonna take $30 million to go play with Zion, AD, and Drew Holiday. Yeah. I said Drew Hill. Wow. Yeah. Beauty is her name. Anyway, but I mean, that's a go. If you can get up to 30 and you can get Kemba, man.
The only problem is a lot of ifs.
That's a lot of ifs. Shaq been saying, well, the last 3-4 months, they got $200 million for him. He's stupid to leave.
That's very true.
It's very true. All right, let's run through this. Who would you think is the 4th best player in this draft?
This draft, let me see. So we got Zion, RJ, Ja. That's where it get a little dicey. He didn't play as well in the Final Four as I thought he probably could have. But I think if we're talking about projecting out, I think Jared Culver is going to end up being pretty good. I like his defense, his length. He already got a nice little mid-range jumper. He'll expand that out.
Yeah, and he's a playmaker. The ball be in his hands a good bit.
Outside of that, I got a list right here in front of me. I don't know much about the Garland kid out of Vanderbilt.
I don't know much about him at all.
Who's watching Vanderbilt basketball?
No.
I like DeAndre Hunter. I'm worried about him peaking maybe too soon. I wonder if he's gonna be one of them players where he'll be a solid player in the league, but I don't know if I see superstar.
And he extra grown too.
He's a 3-4 year cat. Yeah, that's a damn shame. You stay over 3 years in college. People be looking like, damn, you been there 7 years. Um, another guy, our guy, Kobe White. Kobe White, man, I think he can. Who knows what Kobe White can end up being?
I like him in Chicago right there though.
I'm trying to think who that.
Is Chicago the only franchise that you could think of that shadow looms so large? Don't it seem like they're all trying to stand up to Jordan and that everybody they draft? No, I can't think of no other franchise that it seems like the shadow looms so large as far as winning and getting it back together.
I don't think he does as much as he probably used to. Like when he first left, like them Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler days.
Okay.
I think he probably loomed longer then. A lot of these kids here, Kobe and LeBron was who they looked up
Oh
to.
yeah.
Saying
Yeah.
Jordan, they know for the sneakers.
Absolutely. Charlotte ain't gonna never get better. Miami ain't gonna never get better because they are in that same spot every year. It's all about player development. It really is. I like this whole draft lottery thing. It worked out well. We just got to see which way it goes.
Absolutely.
Got to see which way. We talked about the Hawks. We got 8 and 10. Best available. I'm okay where we are. Best available. I like the way we're coaching cats up. They're getting better. Just keep it moving. Slow cook it.
Yes, sir. NFL.
Run through it.
The New York Jets. Okay, so we already got a clusterfuck
Jesus.
going on, and on the Giants side of things, the New York Jets decided, hey, we'll let the general manager run the draft, free agency, everything. We're gonna fire your ass. And name Adam Gase, the interim GM, guy who was a losing coach in Miami, ain't been there 5 minutes, and he already got the responsibility of two people. How's this gonna play out?
At some point, we got to start looking at the impact of this Manning family because when they bless people, shit happens.
Right.
What has this dude done since he was the offensive coordinator with Peyton? Which you really ain't calling plays because Peyton was calling the plays. And this dude has rolled off it. Hey, I fuck with Peyton. Peyton's my homie. You want me to call him? And now he's running the operation in New York.
Yeah. Now, one thing I've heard about this, the GM Mike, how do you say his last name?
McCagnon.
Yeah, McCagnon. That's it. Gotcha. One thing I heard about him was that Todd Bowles would go to over his head and go to the owners or whatever and tell them, because this cat apparently he is
Wishy-washy. That's what I heard.
Wishy-washy, not confrontational,
not willing to make a decision.
Yeah, kind of soft. Let's just say that. Let's just
Yeah.
call it what.
Yeah.
So Todd Bowles had been telling them about this. They didn't really listen to him. So here comes Adam Gase, which they say he's got a really dominant, personality, kind of a schmuck, so to speak. And he's just kind of pushed his ass on out the door.
You think he tooted the line before he went in there and talked to the owner? You see how big his eyes be.
Yeah. He be. You think he be kicking it with Quinn Snyder?
It's a dumpster fire, dog. It's a legit dumpster fire.
The part that's going to be interesting, we can't miss this piece. This is big. Apparently, Adam Gase was very vocal and did not want to sign Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays.
We're Lev fans, but with running back that position the way it is, can you blame him money-wise?
Money-wise, no, not at all.
Yeah.
So I'm glad Lev got his guaranteed money, because let's just say hypothetically, are they planning on hiring another GM? If they do, he's gonna be a puppet boy for Gase.
Yeah, he's gonna be a puppet. But
Gase didn't want to sign him. He might cut him.
But did you believe back at that time that Lev had no market? Because that was word in the street. But do you honestly believe that? No market?
I mean, that was talk that people didn't want to meet the price.
So he's probably still asking 17, 18. I mean, that wasn't going to happen.
Right. So I think there were some teams interested at a much lower figure, a figure that he wasn't going to be accepting of, because it was probably about the same, or maybe in some cases less than what what he could have got with Pittsburgh already. I
Yeah,
know I pegged them. I thought the Colts would be a good fit, and they had a gang of money this offseason. Not only did they not even go after him, they didn't really use any of the money. They
they
just
ain't
like, no,
using none of their money. They
we
they
straight.
they using their shit like rollover minutes. Remember that shit back in the day? Like, I'm good. I'm rolling
Right.
all of this over. So
Crunk about having rollover minutes. Well, shit, you. I mean, you ain't using no minutes. You ain't talking to nobody.
you ain't talking to nobody. So
What good is the fucking rollover minutes?
yeah, I like the way Lev handled it though. It was real mature. You know, kept it 100. I mean, I guess I would be that way too if I got my guaranteed money.
Right. Say something about
So
on.
now that contract they gave to CJ Mosley, kind of get it. $85 million with like 50 guaranteed to a middle linebacker. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So the Jets are what they are. We gonna see. Um, we can really push this power ranking thing to another time. I mean, Peter King likes y'all team. He hates mine. Patrick Peterson is suspended for the first 6 games of the season for PED use, but he came out and stated that it was diabetes medicine that he was taking and it didn't work out. That kind of sounds like, you remember that cat with the Colts? Um, what's that dude's name? Can't remember. He said he was taking
Not Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis.
Robert Mathis. Yeah, he was taking the estrogen, try to help him, get his wife pregnant. Well, they still suspended him.
Right.
Y'all should have took what y'all can get at the time. Arizona Cardinals, I'm speaking of. Stop being analog. Stop being stubborn. He axed out. He's 30. You got what, 2 years, $12 million a year left.
You're clearly rebuilding.
You're rebuilding. When you fire a coach after 1 year and draft 2 quarterbacks in the first round, you ain't looking at the now.
And I was looking at him here today that even with him last year that they passing defense was still in the bottom of the league. So what the fuck are you keeping him for?
Right. You thought they was throwing at the other dudes. He was doing his job. But hell, I mean, you should have took a second. You really should have took a second. I believe he comes back like a week or two before the trade deadline. Now that what'd you say that second dropped down to what, a fifth?
Maybe hell no. That's disrespectful, dog. It's Patrick Peterson. Third.
Third? Okay.
Third.
Okay. Somebody might meet that.
Yeah.
All right. We can get up out of here because we're running late.
No, that's all good. Shit, let's take the score of the game. I forgot all about that.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, tonight it was Portland and Golden State. I'm just so glad that now it's the conference finals that these West Coast games are coming on at like 9:30 East Coast time.
Them
By
10:30 games is killing me, cuz.
Midnight, the games are over. Okay. And just like we said, again, there's a lot of time left. 2 minutes, 19 seconds left before the half, and the Trailblazers 56, Golden State 45. Looking at the box score real quick. Let me see. Early signs. CJ getting off. He got 16. And the Splash Brothers must be off. Curry got 17. Klay Thompson 9. Okay. Pretty close game still, but Portland appears to be playing a lot better tonight, first half, than they did.
Do one of the others for Portland, are one of them getting off?
Let's look at that. I'm pretty sure because Dame only got 4 points and somebody getting off.
Dame ain't got before?
Dame ain't
wow.
Got 4. He got 5 assists though.
Okay.
Yes, Aminu and Harkless, the two people we talked about.
Yeah.
Aminu got 9. Harkless has 8.
Okay, that's solid.
Rodney Hood 7 off the bench as well. So
that's solid. Seth Curry got anything? Because that's the big. That's so lame.
Because I saw are they shooting like the Dale and Sonya Curry? Are they shooting like a series or something? I saw them both with one of each had a jersey on. Are they shooting some kind of special for NBC in regards to this damn series?
They're the royal family of the NBA, but
so Curry got 4 points.
He got 4 points?
Yeah.
1, 3, and a foul shot. All right, let's get up out of here.
Yes, sir. All right, people, we appreciate y'all tuning in tonight, man. As always, continue to watch, hit those subscribe buttons on the YouTube channel. Leave us some comments as well. Don't forget to follow. Then if you listen to us on the Spreaker or Apple iTunes, either one of those podcast platforms, then continue to do so as well. Shout out to the Urban Arena crew. Shout out to JR Sports Brief.
Shout out to him.
We met him at the Hawks Draft Lottery Party. Used to work for the Knicks. Been doing his thing on YouTube and Twitter for quite a while. Now works here in Atlanta on B103. But shout out to him. Uncle Hate, tell these people where to reach you at on social media. I see you've been out there a lot lately giving your expert advice. People listen to the man. Tell them where to reach you at.
At RK6000, holla at me. I talk sports.
All right. And from time to time, you'll see at Diego Barich timing in. And you can hit me up, follow me as well. We appreciate the love. All right, man. We up out of here, man. It's AA Sports. Straight sports, no chaser. We get up at y'all next week. Y'all be easy. Peace.